Hi everyone, since I'm feeling like crap, I thought I would do another reading for today, because sometimes interesting stuff comes out when you don't feel well. I noticed I was like putting this like phone higher so that you can see me from this angle, because from this angle you can really notice my marionette lines, which is wrinkles. And then I was just like, no, I'm gonna purposefully show my wrinkles because I don't give a fuck. Because I will never put botulism in my face, and I have wicked needle. I don't need more needles. Get my blood checked every month for the drug that I'm on, and for just other stuff. And I used to get injections of cortisone in my scalp for alopecia. So thanks. I don't really want needles in my face. I'm good. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do fillers. I'm not gonna do Botox. I'm just gonna like let myself age. And also, I lost 40 pounds this year, which can cause wrinkles, and also, I mean, just your face is thinner, there's less fat, and I have some sun damage, I have a feeling, which can cause wrinkles, and also just stress and dehydration. I almost notice them more when I'm stressed or dehydrated. So, hi, I'm stressed and dehydrated. I don't know why I'm talking about that. I feel like, oh, you know what? It's making me think about the book A Wrinkle in Time, which is like one of my favorite books, even though it's a kid's book, by Madeleine L'Engle. It's about kids like time traveling through space and time into like different galaxies and stuff and dimensions. It's really good. Very abstract. So I'm gonna be talking to someone who's an abstract thinker. A Wrinkle in Time was submitted, I think, 24 times for publication, maybe 26, until it actually got published. So you may be in a situation where you're trying and trying and trying and something's not working, and you know, I don't want to say that it's all a numbers game, but it kind of is. If you really want something, you have to keep trying for it and try different ways and try different angles and try different situations that you may not have thought of. Wrinkle in Time is also just like about, you know, sort of just how when you're a kid you have this amazing imagination, you know, that, and it's sort of like about your imagination becoming real, I would say. So maybe there's some things that you've been imagining and feeling like they can't happen. Okay, the Hierophant reversed. This could be like something that you want, maybe is like it goes against what you feel like you should do, or like some law, or some, you know, maybe you come from a family where everyone's like a doctor, and you're like, you know what, I want to be in the media, like I want to be a journalist or something. I don't know, just an example. And the whole family is like, no, you have to go to med school, you know. Or maybe you're like just in a similar situation where I feel that the person watching this card has to do with, it can have to do with higher calling, as how I'm reading it here in this reading. You know, what is our role? Because this is like a leader in the church, and so what is our like path? Since I said leader and it's reversed, I feel like maybe you feel, I'm also thinking of the game Follow the Leader. And what's that game where everyone is in a, Duck Duck Frog. I feel like you're waiting to get picked by the universe, and you're following what other people told you to do, maybe. Like, I don't know where that came from, because I like normally wouldn't say that, but what does Spirit have to say about that? Somehow I think the person watching is a very creative person, and moving towards creativity is going to help you in your life endeavors. You may be someone who's very sensitive as they spend more time here. I think other people's opinions affect you, and I think that it's time to pour out of the cup like what's no longer needed from other people in terms of opinion. And also, sorry, I just want to spend another moment here. I'm just feeling like maybe the person watching has dealt with sadness in their life, and other people have like use that against them. I guess what I'm talking about is someone who has had depression or anxiety, and people have been like, oh, you're crazy, you don't know what's going on, you know? But I think that actually caused you to become more tender and sweet, the person that's watching, to be like, oh, wow, this sucks for people who like go through stuff, to be like demoralized or dehumanized. So I'm seeing that the person who's watching is very caring and sweet and has a lot of capacity for many kinds of feelings. Okay, and we got the Magician and Page of Pentacles reversed. So I feel that you're working with new tools that you haven't utilized before, and you're feeling like you're not getting like an opportunity. Like maybe you're looking for work, or maybe starting a new business, and you're feeling like it's not happening, even though you're putting these tools and these skills toward it. And let's get another card about that. I do see an energy of King of Pentacles here. So, and the Sun reverse, I want to read that positively here. Overflow of abundance is on the other side of feeling like you've missed opportunities, feeling like you don't know what your role is. Excuse me. Sometimes I think the hiccups is related to channeling. Don't ask why. Well, it's because the diaphragm and the sort of relationship to the gut and the solar plexus stuff. Anyway, I'm just getting like some energy of someone who's like dealing with people who like keep saying you're crazy. Maybe it's like multiple people, and you're like, no, I'm like not. And again, I think you're sensitive. Maybe you've cried a lot. Like maybe you've like had anxiety. Maybe you had like difficult situations where that you were in like temporary mental health crises, you know, that happens. And now I think there's a lot of other people who are like, because of these situations, like it's called gaslighting. They're like, well, you can't be taken seriously really now by anyone because you had that happen. And that's just their projection, because you've externalized the human condition, or you know, you've exemplified it in some way, and probably that's a shadow aspect of those people, that they probably have similar issues and don't want to look at them. The Two of Wands. You are at a choice point, and it's like, since I'm in like physical pain today, I want to say like between like pain and pleasure, between fear and love, which is from Donnie Darko. Ooh, I love that for me to jump in. Okay, Donnie Darko is a great movie. I've seen it like a million times. Also, it was like ruined for me because my high school, I went to this like arts magnet school for 2 years in high school, and this one of my teachers, I always took the writing. I was an art, like visual art major, but I would take writing always for one of my electives because I'm a writer. And for one of the classes, we had someone who was into screenwriting, and he was obsessed with Donnie Darko, so we watched it, I think twice. It's a long movie. And so then we wrote our own scripts, and then we wrote like versions of Donnie Darko, and I couldn't get into that. But I liked that class, even though the teacher didn't really like my writing. Sometimes when someone doesn't like your writing, it's almost better, you know, because I got a lot of positive feedback from all the other teachers. But maybe he had high expectations, and I was confused or befuddled and didn't meet them. But even when someone gives you bad feedback, sometimes it's like, maybe somebody needs to hear that. That I feel like there's been someone who's giving you bad feedback about something that you've done, and you don't have to take that negatively. You could take it in stride, you know? The world is full of critics. Look, there's a second part to that. I was gonna say, maybe how many of them are artists. The fun part is being a critic and an artist. But the kind of point is that like, we don't need to be so attached to the work that we do as being a reflection of who we are or what we are. It's like, and also just like putting ourselves out there, it doesn't have to be so. I'm getting an energy of someone who's very afraid to like put themselves into the world. like some intense insecurity, maybe physical, like I was talking about my wrinkles in the beginning, so maybe that's related. Somebody who's got some very, like, it's been a long-standing issue. But in terms of Donnie Darko, it's like a great movie because it's like there's this bunny rabbit sort of spirit that's like following him everywhere, but it's real, but it's a figment of his imagination, but it's like real, and there's this whole sort of synchronicities with like signs and symbols, and it's like the end of the world, and then stuff does happen that's really bizarre. But I'm focusing on the bunny rabbit, the man in the bunny suit, or I think it's a man, the figure in the bunny suit that follows him and guides him. I almost see that as like a spiritual guide. If you want to watch it, it's a great movie with Jake, I think Maggie and Jake Gyllenhaal are in it from when they were really young. And it's sort of about this like underworld, I would say, or secret world, where there's this like darkness that is trying to, I think, get Donnie Darko, but also guide him. Yeah. I want to put that in the reading as like the things that have been hard in the past 2 years specifically, or 11 years actually here. Okay, so it could be a long time. They have actually started to guide you on your path, and they're going to lead you towards what you want to do. And they may already be leading you towards what you want to do. You may just not see how it can be applied yet. But they say that in the movie, and there's like some scene when they have in the high school some sort of like person come to the kid and to work with the kids, and her whole thing is like, are you acting from fear or love? And then they're just like, we think this is stupid, you know. But you know, it's an interesting question. Are you acting from fear or love? Ooh, I accidentally said from fear of love. So maybe someone here has fear of love, or maybe someone that you feel love for that you're afraid to interact with or commit to, or maybe they have a lot going on and maybe you're afraid of how they would react if you came forward or something. But I'm also getting an energy of somebody who's been in some toxicity with relationship and feels not ready to enter with someone new. So these are the closing cards here, and Spirit's telling me that like the Donnie Darko is not meant to scare you. It's kind of a scary movie, but it's like I'm not trying to say there's something bad haunting you or giving you premonitions or like that. That's kind of what the movie's about. It's like I almost see that bunny as like part of the psyche, that there is something that is like letting us know. I mean, in that capacity, it's like he's like a dark and scary figure, but it doesn't have to be. That's just because that's kids' psyche is like that. Like, it's okay. I think I'm just talking about spirit guides, okay, for people who don't understand that here. That's what the reading is about, and that's the confirmation. That, like, people may have told you you're crazy or whatever, but your spirit guides know you, and they've seen what you've been through. They've watched all the stuff you've gone through, and they're saying it makes sense that you would be depressed, or, I don't know, have anxiety, or have some mental health crisis, or like anyone would, they're saying, in that situation. And they've been there the whole time. So I want to validate that. Knight of Wands, King of Wands, sorry, but it's reversed, and it's put next to Justice. There is some energy of like anger, but that anger, there's going to be justice for something, or maybe there has been justice, and it has to do with being with the 9. It has to do with, the 11, it's a master number, okay? That means self-mastery, mastery of the universe, okay? So you've found that, like, sometimes there's anger that's okay. Like, maybe you've used anger to get out of some negative situations, I'm feeling here. And you're actually going to use that to figure out what it is that you do want to do, so you don't feel so lost, and you're going to make the opportunities. You're going to stop waiting for someone to give it to you and make it for yourself. And I don't know what that means yet, because that's coming directly from your guides and my guides. Okay, and the Hanged Man here, you've been seeing from different perspectives, you've been paused, you've been giving people the benefit of the doubt in a lot of ways. And also, you've been tuning into just your intuition, I believe the moon relates to Ishtar or Set, maybe one of those. Which are the it's one of those. They're like the moon and the star are like the symbols of I think the Ottoman Empire. I could be wrong. Or just the flags of the area that is Turkey. I'll write down what that is, but so it's like a symbol. I'm just gonna, since the moon is here, it is thin, like it's portrayed in that flag, and I want to relate it to that. Just Ishtar and Set. Ishtar is Venus, right? And Set, I'm not sure what his role is, but I believe it's sort of like an Aries to Venus relationship, like masculine, feminine. Okay, so this would just be, I believe, Venus Ishtar, but because it's High Priestess. But I'll look up specifically which is which. But you must listen to your intuition right now, okay? And that has to do with reaching for the feminine and the masculine, okay? For what goes inside of this empty space here. This like open orb of space can be filled with a star, which would be the symbol that's on the flag, symbolizing masculine and feminine. I feel that this means that you have to drop these notions, these preconceived notions that I think they're old. I think they were placed on you before you even maybe showed examples of having anxiety in a certain way. I think maybe you were dubbed as the anxious one because you are sensitive, okay? And I'm letting you know that that was the perception of everyone around you. Being anxious or being highly attuned doesn't mean that something's wrong with you. And sometimes we're picking up on feelings that are other people's feelings if you're very sensitive. And I want you to get in practice with that part of the extreme sensitivity, but also the masculine of, I can control my sensitivity, which sometimes you can't. You know, that's logical. Sometimes you statistically can't. You're overwhelmed by some situation. But like, sometimes we learn as time goes on, hopefully, that it's like, okay, I'm hearing pearls before swine. So you don't want to, it's from the Bible, you don't want to like share your thoughts or your reflections of your life, your hard things, your feelings, your deep stuff with people who don't deserve it, is what I'm hearing. Some of these people who've been typecasting you or putting labels or putting you in a box, like, you don't need to be around them, okay? And that's the reading. I'm feeling called to end. But definitely watch Donnie Darko and tell me what you think. And somebody mentioned salt in one of my comments, and I don't get that many comments, so I really take them as meaningful. So I'm like just envisioning a circle of salt, which is an old Wicca thing you can do if you want to do spells within, or just for safety. You can pour salt in a circle, and maybe you're just envisioning that around yourself, envisioning a white light, a ring that like goes up and down your body. I think that's a really good meditation for the viewer. Like, I'm thinking of like a ring that's white, and it's glowing, and it goes up and down. And as it goes up and down, it brings healing, okay? So I want you to visualize that. And I know it sounds a little out there, but visualization I think is really important. What's happening while this white light, this ring is going up and down, is it's cleansing of any of these thoughts of really self-hate is what the vibration is here. Self-hate, shame, pain, embarrassment, shoulda, coulda, woulda. It's cleansing all of that, and it's replacing it with just pure energy, readiness for the future, love, peace, and joy. It is said, it is written, it is done. Namaste.